Chinese spy submarine detected in Japanese waters. That headline was blazing across TV screens and news websites everywhere. Cameras were flashing as military officials rushed to podiums. The world, honestly, just held its breath. Was this the start of something way bigger? In the early hours before dawn, Japanese fishing boats were bobbing in the calm waters near the Senkaku Islands. Then, all of a sudden, radar screens at a Japanese Coast Guard station picked up an unfamiliar shape. Before anyone could even blink, that quiet morning turned into an international incident. Journalists scrambled to grab more details. Social media just exploded with speculation. Was China really spying on Japan? Or maybe was it just a mistake? The tension in the air was almost too thick to cut. As the sun came up, the world demanded answers. What exactly was China doing in Japanese waters? And yeah, what would Japan do in response? The scene of this alleged spying is honestly no stranger to conflict. The islands, called the Senkaku in Japan and Diaoyu in China, have been disputed for a long time. Both nations claim they own them. These waters are packed with fish, and people believe, oil and gas deposits too. The incident happened on a cloudy morning in late March, 2026. Japanese patrol boats were out on their usual surveillance near the islands when their sonar picked up something strange. The object was moving slowly, hugging the seafloor, making it really tough to spot. This region has seen close encounters before, but this time just felt different. Tensions between Japan and China have been climbing for months, over trade, military drills, and cyber attacks. For local fishermen, seeing foreign vessels isn't new. But a suspected spy submarine? That was a whole new level of threat. Everyone could feel that a line had been crossed. On March 27th, Japanese radar operators noticed an unidentified submarine moving slowly just inside Japan's exclusive economic zone. The sub had no signal, no flag, nothing. It didn't respond to radio calls at all. Japanese destroyers were sent out to shadow the vessel. For hours, the sub played this tense, dangerous game of hide-and-seek under the waves. Finally, as Japanese ships closed in, it turned sharply east and disappeared. But not before dropping a small cylindrical object on the seabed. Japanese divers later recovered that object. It was loaded with high-tech sensors and encrypted transmitters. Experts say it could gather sensitive data on Japanese ship movements and underwater cables. The Japanese government eventually released sonar images and photos of the device. There is no doubt this equipment was used for intelligence gathering, said one official. The evidence was pretty strong. The world watched closely as the story kept unfolding. Japan's prime minister spoke to the nation saying, "This is a serious violation of our sovereignty. We demand a full explanation from China." The message was firm but calm. Japan's defense minister called the incident unacceptable. Meanwhile, the Chinese government denied all the accusations. "Our vessels operate in accordance with international law," said a spokesperson. Japan's claims are groundless and provocative. China accused Japan of exaggerating the situation for political gain. Diplomats from both sides met behind closed doors, but neither side would back down. Japan sent a formal protest. China issued a counter-protest. The war of words only grew louder with each passing day. Ordinary people in both countries watched anxiously, wondering, could this war of words turn into something worse? So, this incident is more than just a local dispute. Japan really relies on these waters for fishing and shipping. If foreign submarines can slip in undetected, well, it raises some pretty big questions about national security. Could secret data be stolen? Could undersea cables be sabotaged? For Japan, honestly, the stakes are high. If China's sub can gather sensitive information, it could actually weaken Japan's military position. Neighboring countries are worried too. South Korea, Taiwan, and even the United States have interests in these waters. The world's eyes are definitely on Japan right now. If it responds too softly, it could look weak, but if it responds too harshly, it could provoke a crisis. This is, in a way, a test of Japan's resolve and its alliances. This event could set a new standard for how nations guard their borders. In today's world, information is just as valuable as territory. You know, this is definitely not the first time Asian waters have seen this kind of drama. Back in 2013, a Chinese ship was caught near the Philippines, allegedly mapping the seafloor for military use. Then in 2018, a Russian sub was detected near South Korea. Every time governments protested. Every time, the tension just kept growing. In 2022, Taiwan accused China of sending underwater drones to map its harbors. And just last year, Vietnam reported a mysterious ghost ship collecting signals near its coast. These incidents really do follow a pattern. Nations gather intelligence to prepare for future conflicts, and honestly, technology just makes it easier to spy. But getting caught carries some huge risks. Every new incident adds to the region's mistrust. Old rivalries flare up, new alliances form, and well, the danger keeps growing. Dr. Kenji Nakamura, a security analyst in Tokyo, says, if the evidence holds up, this could be one of the most serious intelligence breaches in years. He warns that undersea spying is hard to detect and even harder to stop. Rear Admiral Michael Lee, who's retired from the US Navy, comments, China is testing boundaries. They want to see how far they can go without sparking open conflict. He says the response from Japan and its allies will shape future behavior. On the other hand, Chinese expert Li Wei counters. These waters are disputed. China will not back down easily. Both sides must avoid overreaction. The experts all agree on one thing. The stakes are just too high for mistakes. One wrong move could trigger a much wider crisis. So, what happens now? Japan is increasing patrols and deploying more sonar equipment near the Senkaku Islands. The US has voiced support, even sending extra ships for joint drills. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, diplomats are working hard to cool things down. China, for its part, is warning against what it calls provocations. Its navy is more active than ever. Some folks fear that a single accident, a ship collision or a misunderstood signal, could spark a military clash. Regional countries are watching really closely. South Korea, Taiwan, and Australia are all calling for calm. The United Nations has urged dialogue. But you know, solutions are tough to find. The world waits to see who will blink first. The next moves could decide peace or conflict in Asia for years to come. This story matters because honestly, it's about more than just two countries. It's about rules, respect, and the balance of power in Asia. If spying goes unchecked, no nation is truly safe. The drama in Japanese waters shows just how fast a quiet morning can turn into a global crisis. It reveals the risks of modern intelligence wars. It shows why nations must be vigilant and why the world really has to pay attention. As talks continue, both sides have a choice. They can step back from the edge or choose confrontation. The world is watching. The next headline could be even more shocking. Whether this is the start of something bigger depends on what Japan and China do next. But one thing is clear. The shadow war beneath the waves is only just beginning.